W's in the chat. There's no chat. I'm PG. I'm chilling. In this video, I'll be filling out a bracket. It's bracket time, March Madness time. I'll be filling out a bracket between the big four, I'm going to call it. A bracket of albums between Drake, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Ye. So we'll be seeing who has the best album between these four great artists, all great catalogs, but only one album will come on top. I do have videos, you can check out on my channel. I have videos. I gave my thoughts and opinions on across their discographies, tier list perhaps, but you know, thoughts can change. And now I have put these albums, instead of talking about these artists and their discography separately, I'll be putting these albums head to head in this little bracket I made. Yeah, I'm using paint.net, you know, bracket fights, and I'm using Bracket HQ as a custom. I don't even know why I'm saying this, but just, you know, I have to make my own bracket here because there is no bracket like this that exists. So that's right, I'm one of a kind. I'm PG. I do it for y'all. Starting off up top with the Drake region, the Drake part of the bracket. I put in Take Care versus Views, and again I picked 4 albums for each artist, what I feel are the best 4 albums for each artist. So I have Take Care going up against Views. Obviously, a lot of people consider Take Care a classic. I mean, I'm sure that there's fans who consider Views a classic in their own right. But when comparing these 2 albums, I mean, Take Care, let's be honest, is really, Drake really sets the standard here for what a Drake album will become later on in his career, with a great balance of R&B, melodic songs, as well as some great rap songs too, some catchy songs, good bars as well. Take Care, obviously there's some memorable hits on there. You have HYFR, Hell Yeah Fucking Right, The Motto, Headlines, Underground Kings, Lord Knows, just to name a few. And obviously R&B wise, I'm not a big R&B, I'm more of a rap kind of guy, or more of a, I like Drake when he raps, you know, not trying to act tough. I like Drake with the melodies, but not as much as Drake when he's really waxing poetic. And of course, you have some great R&B cuts on here too. Obviously, you have Marvin's Room. There's Crew Love, which is kind of really the introductory song, at least for the masses, to The Weeknd. The Real Her as well. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot on Take Care. There's a lot on it. I mean, you can call it bloat, but I mean, it is good bloat. It's bloat in the best sense for Drake with Take Care. And Views is a bit bloated. There's some great songs on there as well. With 9, Feel No Ways, Western Road Flows, Child's Play. There's a couple songs in there that, you know, maybe you want to forget about, you know, things with maybe something with the accent on it, or Hotline Bling, which is, I know was a massive hit, but anyways, long story short, long explanation short, I just think Take Care, although they both have a lot of songs on it, I think Take Care just has more to offer sonically. And some of Drake's, Drake's best songs are on Take Care, and they're less of his best songs or best work on Views. So I'm going with Take Care. This is where technology has taken me in the year 2025. Next matchup we have If You're Reading This It's Too Late versus Nothing Was the Same. And this is probably, just looking at it, probably the hardest matchup of this first round, just because even in my video where I give my thoughts on his catalog, this is really a toss-up between these two. I feel like most people have Take Care at 1, and then this is 2 and 3 right here between these two. I feel like that's the majority, or with the consensus I see online. So I don't want to focus too much on this matchup. I've already talked enough on the first one. But they're both great for 2 different reasons. Obviously, If You're Reading This Is Too Late, I feel like this was the first real like sonic switch up or production style switch up we had on a Drake album. Just a lot more, I don't know what the word is, maybe like there's a little more trap influenced, a little bit darker, and then you also had like this kind of like nuanced R&B sound that we got with Party Next Door on here, and also one of his best songs with Jungle as well in terms of R&B tracks. Then you also had some heavy hitters like Energy. Obviously, after this, the beef came about, and Drake was really in his bag with these new style of beats that he was rapping over. Legend, Know Yourself, No Tellin', a lot of good songs on this one, as well as Nothing Was the Same. Nothing Was the Same It's his most, I believe it's his most, yeah, his most like concise album, and it really shows because it packs a punch. Obviously, you have the outro, you have Pound Cake, Paris Morton Music, Worst Behavior, Starting from the Bottom was on there. Furthest Thing, of course, in my opinion, his best intro track, Tuscan Leather, one of his best songs, maybe his best rap song. Word for word, bar for bar. Wu-Tang Forever. We also had our introduction to Sampha on the song Too Much, which is a low-key a very good song. So yeah, there's also a lot to offer on that one, and it is also, it's not bloated compared to like the rest of Drake's discography. So I think word for word, bar for bar, song for song, nothing was the same. The more I think about it, I'm gonna take the slight edge to Nothing Was the Same, just because it's, you know, more killer and less filler. I'm gonna go with Nothing Was the Same. Okay, that's what I'm going with. And now we're gonna move on to the Kendrick side of the bracket. It's all one side. We have Good Kid, Mad City versus GNX. That's right. I think GNX is gonna make my cut for his top 4 albums, in my opinion. Some people may put Mr. Morale in this foursome, we'll call it. Pause. Anyway, I mean, I'm talking about 4 dudes here. So yeah, GNX is gonna go up against Good Kid, Mad City, and I really don't have to say much on this one. I mean, GNX, it's fresh in our minds. There's a lot of bangers on here. You can argue a couple of those weak songs on here, like the title track itself. But still a great album. But we're competing with a certified classic in Good Kid, Mad City. Again, great conceptual album. I'll talk about childhood, peer pressures, growing up in Compton. You know, stuff with, you know, his uncle, his aunt, his mom. It's just, the whole thing is just, feels like one big ride, and going through the troubles growing up in Compton, and, you know, trying to stay away from gang related and, you know, other peer pressure and activity like that. I go on and on. I don't even have to mention the songs. You know, obviously Mad City is fantastic. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, fantastic. Money Trees, Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst. I mean, come on. Swimming Pools. Art of Peer Pressure I really like too. We go on and on. Shireen, it's a classic. Why am I wasting my time? Let's just put in GKMC. By a landslide, quite frankly. And next up, similar thing here. We have Damn. I have certain feelings on Damn. Maybe a hot take on Damn, that I don't think it's that great of an album. Everyone has it. Some people have like their best Kendrick album. I don't think so. Damn versus To Pimp a Butterfly. This is a similar thing here. Even with my feelings, look at that. I can't even type right. Even with my feelings about Damn and how I think it's oversaturated with like vocal changes, I think he does a little too much of it, which hurts him on songs like a song like Lust and God. I think are two of his. I don't want to confuse Lust with something else. Yeah, I think Lust and God. God is probably one of his. God is great. God is good. Thank you, God. But God, the song by Kendrick is one of his worst songs, honestly. But yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly, again, we're dealing with a conceptual masterpiece here. I don't even have to go through, again, when I go through the songs, Blacker the Berry, King Kunta, These Walls, How Much a Dollar Costs, Hood Politics. We go on and on. I'm going to abbreviate it too. We're going to go with T-Pab, again, in a landslide. Down to the J. Cole region. This is probably going to be a little more, this will definitely be harder to grade than, to pick than Kendrick, but I'll start off with 2014 Forest Hills Drive versus Born Center. Born Center, sophomore album. This album feels bloated, and it was a very good record, but I mean 2014 Forest Hills Drive is, I don't want to say undeniably, I think it's easily, I won't give it away, a top 2 record of J. Cole's, top 2 album of J. Cole's. Honestly, you could put his mixtape. I could put his mixtapes in here, and it'd probably be more competitive than a lot of these other matchups. Born Center, don't get me wrong. We have Illuminati, Let Nas Down, Rich, N-Word, She Knows, Forbidden Fruit. A couple of his best singles are on here. I mean, Power Trip's a pretty good song. She Knows also. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah. So it's a couple of great hit singles out of this. Crooked Smile as well. So and then yeah, I have to look through the track list because there's a lot of songs on Born Center that I quite frankly I forget about. And compared to 2014 Forest Hills Drives, when you have Forest Hills Drive, when you have songs like January 28th, O3 Adolescence, fantastic song, one of my favorites. Tale of Two Cities, No Role Models, of course. Love Yours, again, fantastic song. Fire Squad, Saint Tropez. I mean, yeah, this is it's a heavy hitter, man. I feel like I'm spending too much time on round one, but let's just put 2014 FHD. That's moving on to the next round. Then we have the off season versus For Your Eyes Only. There's a lot of people who I'm sure there's people who think off seasons is best, and there's people who definitely think For Your Eyes Only is his best. One was more personal projects. I remember the off season more for, obviously it's bangers like a 95 South. You have My Life with 21 Savage, Amari, Pride is the Devil. I only named like a couple real bangers, but you know what I mean. Like there's just some hard hitting songs in there. The Climb Back, how can I forget that? The off season again, a concise 12 songs, but also concise. We have concise, succinct. You know, when I say concise, I'm not saying it's automatically good because it's a short track list, but it's succinct is the word. If you don't know what the word means, it means it's concise and it doesn't waste time. You know, like I said, it's more of a killer, less filler type of feel. There's no filler, there's no waste. That's what I mean when I say succinct. It's just straight to the point, which is what I'm not being right now, ironically. Again, talk about concise, only 10 songs. Title track is a great song. You have Neighbors, Immortal, Deja Vu. I don't go back to For Your Eyes Only as much as I do with the off season. So I honestly just go with my gut here. I enjoyed the off season more. And again, maybe just because it's more, For Your Eyes Only has levity to it. Again, more personal. I understand for Cole's catalog, For Your Eyes Only is rare. But I'm just gonna go with the off season, and I don't know if that's a bad take or not. But if I can't really decide between the two albums, I'm just gonna go honestly. If I really can't, I'm just gonna go with what my gut and what I enjoy more. And now, lastly, the last part of round one, we're gonna go to the Kanye, the Ye region. Talk about catalog, right? So we have Graduation versus My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'm a big Ye fan. I mean, how much more detail am I going to get into with Kanye? I mean, Graduation. Talking about the word succinct, right? Again, you have some of his most memorable songs on here. Perhaps the best integration or the origin or the integration of like pop and hip hop melded together and just taking it to a whole new level with songs like Stronger, Can't Tell Me Nothing, Good Morning, Glory, I Wonder, Big Brother, Barry Bonds. So many. I just named half the album. Champion, Flashing Lights. There's Drunken Hot Girls, which is like the only dud of that on this album. And MBDTF again. There's again another album where the sound he takes it to a new height. This is kind of like also an origin or the beginning of this like luxury era of rap, or like kind of like a luxurious like beats. I don't know if that makes sense, if I'm making any sense of that, but that's kind of like, it's like the end of like the bling era and then taking that to a whole new level. This like designer, luxurious, expensive aesthetic, very expensive, lavish sounding production on here. And again, we get some personal moments as well, as Kanye was dealing with this is after like, well after a couple years after his mother's passing, taking that to effect. And obviously the Taylor Swift situation, getting bombarded by the media again. But that was really where the first time the world was really against him was during that period of time. But yeah, going on about that one. Gorgeous, Runaway, Devil in a New Dress. I want to talk about luxury production. That's like upper echelon right there. All of the Lights, Dark Fantasy. I mean, this is a bracket. I should just be picking the albums, but next round, I'll now that I've explained, I'm going in detail. I will go through the next rounds fairly quickly. I'm not skips. There are more skippable songs on MBTTF. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. There are more skippable songs on there than Graduation. I talked about All Killer No Filler. I think Graduation. I think other than Drunk on Hot Girls, that's an album that you can just play right through. So because of that, even with MBDTF, there's a couple like there's the Lost in the World like interlude. The All the Lights kind of interlude, which is really nice sonically, but like I'm just saying, like as a whole album, I'm playing Graduation through, aside from like one song. So give me Graduation. Can we get much higher? All right, now we have last matchup in round one, and it is also the earliest albums, the oldest albums matchup, and that's the College Dropout versus Late Registration. We have Kanye's debut album versus a sophomore album. All right, I don't want to run through the track list. So if you haven't checked out my video, I've explained and went and did my rankings here. These are both fantastic albums, but the College Dropout just hits different. It's really the debut. This is Kanye showing himself to the world, really proving like I'm not just a producer, I am a rapper. You're not gonna shut down my dreams no matter what. And some of the best soul sampling you'll ever hear on any hip hop record, and that's saying a lot. So, and I'm a sucker for that shit. So the College Dropout, I'll keep that one short. I'm running this one out, but okay. So yeah, that's round one. Now we get into round two, or the finals for each artist of the big four. Again, I already ran through track list and gave some more detail in round one. I'll just run through this one. So we have Take Care versus Nothing Was the Same. I did explain earlier about being about succinct, concise albums and how I really like it when they really they're not full of bloat, not filled with filler. Take Care is bloated, and I can't say I go back to Take Care as much as other classic albums, but I mean the highs are extremely high on Take Care. Let's be honest here. I already explained earlier what the bangers that were on that thing. Nothing Was the Same, although it is short. I think ultimately some of Drake's songs, this is how we're gonna do it, because like his catalog, there's so many songs. Drake has so many songs, so many singles, so many bangers, as well as duds as well. But like I just think Take Care just has more high quality Drake songs than Nothing Was the Same. I mean, you could argue Drake is rapping better on Nothing Was the Same. Again, he's a few years deeper in his career at that point, but I think Take Care just has a lot more to offer, and like again, some of his best and most memorable songs occur more on Take Care than Nothing Was the Same. A pretty much near unanimous take that this is Drake's best work, best album. Now moving on to the battle of two internet reviewing favorites, two classics in my opinion and many others' opinion. Good Kid, Mad City versus To Pimp a Butterfly. What a matchup, feeding generations. This is like Kobe versus LeBron. Kobe. At this point, like I said, if you can't make a decision, just go with your gut and your preference of what you'd rather play more. To Pimp a Butterfly, which propelled Kendrick to getting a Pulitzer Prize, which is fantastic. All the accolades to him that he still has today for what he's done for his own culture, hip hop as well. And of course, I'm saying all this because I'm gonna go with Good Kid, Mad City, because I'd rather listen to Good Kid, Mad City, and I think front to back, Good Kid, Mad City is more enjoyable. And I think conceptually, although To Pimp a Butterfly is also fantastic conceptually with the poems, and then the ending where he's talking to pre-AI Tupac with the vocals, which is crazy in its own right. But I just think conceptually it's easier to digest. I just feel like I enjoy Good Kid, Mad City more. I remember hearing that record for the first time and being like, wow, this guy is a man who really spends time with his craft, and can make enjoyable hits as well. I'm gonna go with Good Kid, Mad City for the win. Now we have the finals for J. Cole. It's 2014 Forest Hills Drive versus the Offseason. Again, the Offseason has its bangers, and we have a resurgence of a hungry J. Cole on the Offseason. But 2014 Forest Hills Drives, J. Cole hits you hard with very substantive and meaningful songs, great messaging on songs like 03 Adolescence, Love Yours, and yeah, those are honestly two of my probably two of my top 5 J. Cole songs, and they occur on this album. And even the main hit, No Role Models is great, and probably knocks anything off the offseason anyway. So it's gonna be 2014 Forest Hills Drive for me. I feel like I'm not saying anything controversial with these picks. Outside of maybe putting Good Kid, Mad City over T-Pab, but that can go either way. So yeah, 2014 FHD. And now we get to the finals of the Kanye bracket. I don't want to be a stan or anything, but I feel like any of those 4 Kanye records could go head to head with pretty much most of what's above. Kanye did set the tone for. Really did set the tone and was inspiration for the 3 guys above. And I said big 4 because like these are the big 3 that everyone claimed, and then obviously you could make your argument about J. Cole falling off and all that stuff with when he backed out of the beef and all that. This is the mainstream big 3 up top, but like Kanye is always, as far as like veterans has been, he's always been right there, and obviously he's always the talk of the town for many reasons. Anyway, having said all that, Graduation versus The College Dropout, I think these are my 2 top Ye albums. And again, maybe it's just the nostalgia factor kicking in, even though they're 3 years apart, these albums. But College Dropout, again, I'm a sucker for the soul sampling. It's less pop, more hip hop, and more something that I prefer and recognize as great. So I'm gonna go with Graduation. They've both aged extremely well. They've both aged like fine wine. But for my money, I'm going with the College Dropout. I'm just gonna write a TCD. I'm dyslexic. I wrote the opposite. TCD. The College Dropout is going to the Final 4 and winning the Kanye side, the Kanye bracket. And now we finally get into matchups between the artists. Of course, I purposely put Drake and Kendrick on top right there for this reason, and that's gonna be we have Take Care versus Good Kid, Mad City. In my opinion, the best Drake album versus the best Kendrick Lamar album, and both classics. In fact, all four of these albums here are classics. Take Care versus Good Kid, Mad City. Listen, man, I talked about the bloat. I've said my piece on my preference and how I feel about at least how I prefer my hip hop music to be. And Good Kid, Mad City just super impressed me. I remember first hearing Take Care because again, I was like in high school. Yeah, I was freshman in college. Freshman in college, yeah, 2011, finishing up there. Sophomore in college. I transferred. I don't want to get too personal, but I was, I graduated in 2010, went to college, then transferred to another college. So I was in, this is October, right? Yeah. This has nothing to do with the bracket, Pat. But just a little personal touch on there. So yeah, I was basically a sophomore in college when Take Care came out, and I remember I had mixed feelings about it just because, why it's like anyone else at the time. It's like when you like rap, when you like hip hop, you don't want to hear one of your favorite artists or up and coming rapper at the time. You don't want to hear them singing. But of course, this aged well over time, like all these albums have. So, but having said that, Good Kid, Mad City, I really prefer the concept. I really like it. Really made me start appreciating concept albums more and the writing more with Good Kid, Mad City, for my money and for my preferences and my appreciation for hip hop. Good Kid, Mad City is taking the W here. Both great albums, and I also, I go back to Good Kid, Mad City. I'd probably go back to it more than Take Care, even with Take Care's blow. There's bangers on there, but it's just my style. So Good Kid, Mad City going to the finals. And last but not least, for the Final Four, it's 2014 Forest Hills Drive versus The College Dropout. Listen, man, this is a battle. This is an uphill battle for Cole, just by putting him on this at the bottom part here. They have kind of they actually have a beef with this kind of like, not subliminal, it's just like this low-key beef with each other. Cole made that song. Was it False Prophets? That kind of like where he kind of said like, oh man, Kanye, like he basically said without saying his name, basically saying like, oh, this guy's like, he was my idol or prophet of hip hop, and he kind of let me down. That's kind of what Cole was saying on that one. He let Nas down, and he felt that Kanye let him down. That's interesting. But yeah, and then like over time, obviously Ye not too long ago was saying like, oh, J. Cole. He said something about like he makes music for people who don't get no pussy. I think that's what he said. So fuck off in that regard, because I like J. Cole and a lot of people do. Ye's just being crazy. Yeah, like they have a little bit of a back and forth, but having said all that, the beef, production styles, Cole looked up to Ye crawled, so these guys could actually run. So, and Ye was humongous too. And same thing, pause on that, Jesus. And same thing goes for any artist. I mean, there are artists that obviously Kanye was inspired by, and now Kanye is inspiring this wave of artists. Yeah, having said all that, like I said, uphill battle. 2014 hit Forest Hills Drive, great record, classic. It's not better than College Dropout. Give me College Dropout. And now we're here. It's the finals. I've talked too much about other things, but we're here. I don't think I've ever done this comparison or done like artist comparison like this ever. This bracket, and now we're at a point where I have two of my favorite albums of all time in Good Kid, Mad City versus the College Dropout. Now I did say earlier, I am a Ye stan. He is my favorite artist, despite the flaws, and I'm not going to defend his actions, especially recently. We'll leave it at that. But is the College Dropout, and is that influence, is that better than the story that is Good Kid, Mad City? The Compton tale of a 5'6" rapper who is now like one of the biggest artists in the world. Man, I knew I set this up. I think all of you playing along would probably have that feeling, unless you're like a big Drake stan. I would say 95% of people who review hip hop would have a Kanye album versus a Kendrick album. I'd say 95%. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Again, I've already said it multiple times here. If I can't decide, I want to go with my gut, and I want to go with nostalgia and the feeling I get playing songs off the College Dropout versus the feeling I get listening to Good Kid, Mad City. Slow jams, all falls down, through the wire, Jesus walks. 2 words. Good Kid, Mad City. Ran through that one. Ran through that track list. Pause, I guess. Why don't we pause anymore? You know what? Forget pausing. Let's fast forward. 2 words was a great outro on the College Dropout, and I got 2 words here. Ye wins. Dropout wins. I am picking the College Dropout as my winner of this Big 4 rap albums bracket. Need I say more? Do you agree? Do you disagree with any of these matchups? Any of the winners that I picked? Do you agree with the winner? Yeah, just let me know your thoughts overall, and what kind of bracket should I do next? Did you like this? Did you like this like fucking paint.net welfare broke ass style of making a bracket? Because things I do for my community. Anyway, thank you again for watching. Let me know your thoughts and feedback in the comment section. If you like the video, please like the video, and of course, if you like my channel at all and check out my other videos, please subscribe to the channel. This is my bracket, my thoughts. Stay blessed.